Hey everybody, this is Brad Bruce and I'm here with
Jase Marsiglia.
And you're listening to the 5195 podcast.
Indeed you are. Welcome back everybody.
We need a cheer.
Like a little fanfare.
Yeah.
Just a little, I
mean, no one else is doing it for us.
Then you go, "Oh, people. Shh. Take a seat. You over there.
The applause button is off.
I love you, guy." Yeah, no, I'm done with that.
Good. That'll be for next time.
Richard can't be our only drop.
He can't be our only drop, but you know what? I like that they're happening organically.
They are.
And that's what's good. Because I just don't want to, but wah, wah.
Even though those are fucking hilarious.
They are hilarious.
Especially if we want to sit here and do the Debbie Downer episode or something. And
which
just be like,
we do those a lot.
I'd be like, well, it's official. I can't have children.
Damn. How you been?
I'm good.
Yeah?
I'm good. I'm just staying busy, trying to get my ducks in a row.
I knew that was coming.
The ducks?
I knew your ducks were coming.
Yeah.
I could hear the feathers ruffling.
Yep. Our little excursion here is wearing to an end.
Yeah.
I go home late tomorrow. Oh boy, this is going to suck. It occurred to me about a week ago that tomorrow, when I wake up early for work,
very early,
I will be awake clear until I get home in the afternoon the following day.
Yeah. Because
I'll work and then we'll do whatever we're doing in the afternoon. Then we go out for dinner in the evening, go to Frank's, then hit the airport. I can't sleep on planes to save my life, so I'll probably be up the whole fucking night. And then my wheels touch down in Detroit, according to this, by 1 in the afternoon.
Wow.
Yeah. Tomorrow is a marathon, not a sprint. So I got to prepare myself.
It's going to be fun.
I feel like I've maybe done this once.
Probably a couple times, truthfully.
Usually, I mean, it's not very often I work the entire time I'm out here.
Right.
Usually I work for a week or two and then I have like that buffer week to for us to just do whatever we want. But I feel like this has probably at least happened once or twice where I got home and was just like, and then hit the ground like a sack of potatoes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sack of taters.
Deep fried?
Deep fried and on my side.
You are such a little poet.
I don't know it.
Yeah, it's been a fun trip.
I think so.
It's definitely better than the beginning of the year trip.
Yeah.
Even though we did have fun, it was very trying.
Yes. In some instances.
And you know what's crazy is I don't know how. We haven't talked about it too much. Between us on the phone, like leading up to the trip, we were really building that trip up.
We were. You're talking about this one.
No. The last trip.
Oh, the last one?
Remember, it was like, this is it. This is the fucking trip.
Yeah.
And because it was, the new house and just, we had so many fucking good things in store.
Clear up to that first day where, I landed and we're at Norm's and it's like, yeah, man, this is going to be fucking great.
It was crazy how
we built it up and up and up. And then it was.
Do you remember when it went south?
Yeah.
That morning we woke up with Creep IE.
Yeah.
That was when it went south.
It really did.
Yeah. Because you were asleep. I got up early because I was getting equipment ready.
Yes.
To go do the con.
Mm-hmm.
Tina was sort of hiding a secret from us that she wasn't feeling well.
Right.
Because she knew we would have been like, we're not going.
Mm-hmm.
Which I'm like, hey, that's cool. Hollywood back in the day, not now. Not where we're at.
Yeah.
Don't do that. Don't suffer. And I came out here, like I said, I was doing an equipment checklist, and then all of a sudden, I noticed that there was some shows missing.
Yeah.
And I remember you walking out of the room, and I basically had my head in my hands, and Tina standing over me.
Yep. Nope. I stepped out kind of like, what's the vibe here?
Yeah.
Because you do not look happy.
Yeah. And it was just sad. I was so sad.
You were shaking your head like, almost like, I don't even want to tell you.
Yeah, I didn't. How do you tell someone that it's like, man, we fucking did 6 great shows because Marty's was going to be a double, and they were gone. Like I don't know if I told you this or not, but I downloaded programs to try to repair that card to see if there was something inside of it.
Oh, sure. No, you didn't tell me.
There was nothing I could do.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Because I was even thinking, is it downloaded into my computer somewhere? Is it in a trash bin? Is it fucking in a file?
Right.
And I spent like an hour and a half before you came out here. I spent about an hour and a half trying everything I could, restarting and fucking looking through everything. And it was just like, I can't believe I have to say the words, the shows are gone.
Yeah. Yep.
And that was fucking crazy.
It was brutal. It was a brutal thing to wake up to.
Yep. And it sucked because, like, you know, you worked that first week and then I found out that you were off. And I got super excited because I was like, holy shit, we could get up in the morning. Because we don't usually record till nighttime anyway.
Yeah, it's usually nighttime.
I was like, we have all day. We can go do all kinds of shit. This is going to be fucking awesome. But then it was like Tina was in the emergency room and then she was fucking healing.
Yep.
And then we got sick. And it was like, you got to be fucking kidding me.
Yeah.
You know, so when you went home, you know, there was a few days where we were kind of just like texting but recovering.
Yeah, for sure.
And then when we kind of was, you know, getting back on our feet, it was actually you that was like, okay, when is Dell's thing?
Yeah.
And you're like, we got to figure this out. I was like, well, it's going to be a fast turnaround, our fastest one to date.
Yes.
And you were like, yeah, but fuck it, we got to do it.
We're not going to get that moment back. We're not going to, you know.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, it was a good thing that we did this. I'm happy we did this.
I am too.
And we were able to bank a lot more, make up for the time.
This was an awesome trip. This was a fun trip. There was a real moment that we won't go into, but there was a real moment between you and I that I was like, wow, sort of defining, you know, and like, holy shit. But,
Yep.
you know, it really laid out all the cards and put everything in a perspective of just about how much you and I mean to one another.
For sure. I call it the tour bus moment.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Because every band has it at least once.
Absolutely. Yeah. And then I think there will be one day when we're in a different situation, we will talk about it.
Sure.
You know, but because that would be a whole fucking... It would be a Kleenex episode. So
there's that, but there's also... There's a lesson in there that we would probably have to wrap into a topic.
Yeah.
I think.
For sure.
Just because, you know, this this very cryptic thing that we're tiptoeing around.
Which I'm sure they know what we're talking about, but we won't go into details.
Yeah, but it was it's not something that people don't experience all the fucking time.
All the time.
And they say 1 out of 5 men, it's a performance anxiety
Gum
kind
disease.
of thing. Oh, yes, gum disease.
Right? What are you talking about?
Nothing at all.
Okay, cool. So our topic today, gingivitis.
Yes. And why doesn't that 5th dentist approve of this toothpaste?
Because he doesn't have a dental license.
No. 4 out of 5 dentists and Bob.
And Bob, Dr. Nick.
Dr. Nick. Hi, everybody.
Oh, man. Yeah, no, this is, I woke up today kind of like, all right, fucking happy. Another one of those bittersweet things, you know, because
Sure.
Again, like I said, you know, it's like definitely best friend, man. I love spending time with you and hanging out. It's
It's great.
it is great. You know,
And
it is great.
And, you know, obviously the show is super important.
Yeah.
But, man, the experiences it's afforded us, that's like, holy shit.
Yeah.
We got stories on stories, and they're out there.
Yep.
That's super cool to me.
Yeah, no, it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. And I think, unlike last time, even though we did do good shows, I think these shows were different. I don't know if you caught that or not. Like, I felt that these shows there was something a little more meaningful to them.
Yeah? You think so?
Yeah, like I don't know what it was. I think it was just the flow, you know, we're both on our game.
Yeah, I would say so.
Because again, I told you ad nauseum, I go back and listen to
Yeah.
our shows.
A lot more than I do.
Like a crazy coach is how I listen to them.
Yeah. I worry that if I were to try and do that, I would get tired of us.
Yeah, I don't like.
Because I have burnout. I get
Do you really?
I get burnout fatigue in general. I'm not talking about our show.
Yeah.
But like Like my brother Josh, for instance, he's one of those that's like, I started a new show and he will blast through X number of seasons. And I'll be like, yeah, I started it too. I'm on season like 2.
Yeah.
And he'll be like, oh, you didn't just pick it up for after season 1? And I'm like, I can't, because I'll get burned out and then my opinion of it will be colored because I'm like, you know, I personally don't think shows are meant to be binged for that very reason.
Yeah.
But you and I grew up in a time where same bat time, same bat channel, we always had to wait.
Yeah.
And I like, even if I have it in my hands and I'm able to binge through a season of something, I'll watch a season and then I will watch a season of something else and come back to it, because I just don't want to, I don't want to get to a point where I dislike the show because I just been imbibing it so much. That's why when you said on our TV one that you blew through The Simpsons after the move, I'm like, that's 30 fucking years of Simpsons, man.
Yeah.
I'm like, Jesus, I don't know if I'd have made it through 10 seasons nonstop without being like, okay, I need a fucking break from Yellow.
No, it was, and I think maybe because I am just, I don't know, dumb, that I have the ability to just get lost and enjoy every bit of it.
I think most people do. I think I'm the exception because it took me the better part of 6 months, I think, to watch Breaking Bad. And it's only like, what was it? 4 years, 5 years? Not long seasons. I could have finished it in like 4 weeks.
Right.
You know, a month if I really paced myself. But no, I was like, and it was the show got to me a lot.
Yeah.
So I was like, I need a break. I can't fucking do this.
No, I get it. Because I mean, I never watched it in an initial run.
Me neither.
I watched it after it was done. I actually watched that and Sopranos for the first time during COVID.
Yeah, no, I never watched Sopranos either.
Yeah, no, I did like Sopranos. You know, it's like, it's an interesting take on the mafia.
Okay.
Because it's more localized to that family. And I don't mean like the crime family would, but I mean like the Soprano family.
The actual.
Yeah, because it's like the inner workings of mom and dad, but then, hey, dad is also the head of a mob family.
Yeah.
And so that was an interesting kind of take on it.
Sure.
You know, it wasn't just like Goodfellas or, you know.
Well, you have to hyperbolize everything because you're meeting a runtime.
Yeah.
Whereas
which it worked for that.
A TV show, you could spread that butter clear across the bread. Slow.
Yeah, and it worked perfectly for that.
Yeah.
It really did. So I was pleasantly surprised with Sopranos.
Yeah.
Even the ending, the controversial ending that everyone fucking was like, I hate it. What happened? I'm like, that's cool. The ending is fucking cool to me. You know, I really dug it. And I've heard all kinds of theories, you know, about what the ending means and shit. So I was like, oh, that was just fun. You know, but yeah, man, I mean, like, the only thing I'm hoping that I got you to start binging, because we got you locked in on it last night, was Love on the Spectrum.
And he's not kidding. I'm not laughing because it's a joke. I really did get into it last night.
We were supposed to record our shows last night.
We were supposed to record like 3.
Yes.
Because we got home at a pretty decent time.
Oh, no, we totally could have done it.
We could have blasted out 3 or 4 episodes.
But, you know, hey, it wasn't our fault. Tina made a bunch of good food.
She made food, and then she was like, I'm going to start season 1 of Love on a Spectrum because everyone's been talking about it. And then you and I just kind of sat down to let our food digest. And then at one point you went, oh, hey, it's 1 a.m. And I went, I got to fucking go to bed. And I had to force myself to, because this was captivating shit.
I mean, our colorful commentary definitely helped.
Notwithstanding, it was extremely funny. Completely inappropriate.
Extremely inappropriate.
We're going to hell. But yeah.
I mean, hey, you want to do a commentary?
Jesus Christ.
If we did a commentary on Love on the Spectrum,
I would put it on the Patreon to our Patreon.
Exactly.
You're going to have to pay like double if you want to hear something that's going to get us canceled.
Oh, without a fucking doubt. And then here's the thing too, is like, we basically, at first it was like, this is fucking crazy. This is fucking sad. Then it was like, hey, these fucking retards are fucking like they're way better than us and shit.
That was the thing that I kept dying. I'm like, I can't afford to move out to California, but this fucker's got a house. He's got a house on like Santa Monica Boulevard.
Oh no, the Steve guy.
Yeah,
He had a fucking house in San Francisco. Like he has a place in San Francisco.
By all accounts, unless they just picked it for the locale, he was right in front of like the Full House lineup.
Yeah.
I was like, get the fuck out of here. And this guy's, I can't talk shit because Steve's like my favorite guy.
Mine too.
He's very, very positive. And you know what? Everything's going to be okay. And I'm like, bless his fucking
Retarded heart.
Richard, did we handle that well?
Oh, fuck.
I think that's a no. He's worried about us. This could be it.
Yeah, and then it was like, oh, now we're making fun of him, and it's, we're having a good time, and the laughs are fucking flowing. Oh, that girl's, even the girl's dog is retarded. Did you see it? It just said meow.
That put me out.
I know.
I couldn't stop laughing because the dog was doing something stupid.
Yeah,
I don't remember what it was. And you were like, I think the dog even has autism. And then when it showed him again, like just for a quick instant, you went meow, and I practically fell on the floor. I was like, I can't fucking, I'm never going to emotionally recover from this moment.
That was bad. And then what did we do today at lunch? We kept going and finished the first season.
Finished the season. Actually, I'm not even done.
No. Well, here's the thing. I kind of like, I got a head start because like me and Kimmy used to watch it.
Yeah.
And I was kind of giving you guys like the rundown. Like, oh, when Kimmy saw this, she basically cried when she saw Steve. And like there was all this crazy shit that was going on.
I don't want to know what's going to happen to Steve that made her cry because he needs protected at all costs.
At all costs.
I love that man.
No, it's great.
He's just so innocent.
The show is fucking awesome.
It is a great show, but like we have to.
Hey, we got to be us, man.
Well, not just that, but I'll be completely honest. We cope by joking.
Oh yeah,
because this is tough shit.
It is very tough. It is very tough too. Yeah, you got to joke through it, man.
You can't. Otherwise, yeah, we're just all gonna sit there in a fucking mess of tears.
Well, then that's the thing too, is that like we start identifying things that we do and they do, and I'm like, wait a minute. I'm like looking at you, and I'm looking at Tina. I'm like, are we all three autistic? It's like everything that they do.
I'm like, that's a habit that I have.
Yeah.
Like the one chick, she's always horny.
Oh my God. Oh my God. It's crazy.
Dude, there was a moment between her and the first guy she clicked with.
Yeah.
Where I felt like, should we be watching this? Like, seriously, I was kind of like, at what point does this become exploitation?
In the moment we hit play.
Yeah, right. Because they're like holding hands and she's just like, oh, I feel it. And I'm like,
oh, fuck.
Exactly, Richard. And I was like, this feels wrong to watch.
That's what
I was like, I feel like if I was filming it, I'd be like, should I, in the editing room, maybe we'll like dissolve to like butterflies.
Then we cut to commercial.
Yeah, the sun setting, something. It just felt so strangely intimate.
Very strange.
And I'm like,
you're right.
I don't think this is good.
Yep. Yep.
I don't feel like we should be watching this.
There were many stages we went through while watching the show.
It was a fucking roller coaster.
We were making fun of them, and then it was like we identified with them, and then the last one was like, hey, they can actually do stuff that I can't. When the one guy was like, I like accounting. I handle all my own books. I was like, what?
I know.
I was like, what are you talking about? I wouldn't even know how to do that if I had a program.
No.
Like, what are you talking about? You like accounting.
I'm like, you mean like 1, 2, 3?
Yeah, that I got you. I got you all day long.
No, it was.
Oh man, no. I think that would have been a very colorful commentary had we recorded that. We also would have been canceled immediately.
They would have come after us with pitchforks and torches.
I think one of the funniest
For
thing I was
sure.
thinking about when they were doing the mock date and they were bringing the plates of food.
Oh, God.
And it was just like, oh, you're Play-Doh, sir. It was so fucked up.
Well, then my man goes, this isn't real food.
Yeah.
And I'm like, we're pretending.
Yeah, no shit.
We're supposed to pretend. Or when he goes on the date with the woman with Down syndrome,
Yeah.
and he goes, what do you like to do? And she goes, I watch American Idol and all. She starts rattling off shows she watches. And my man goes, I would like to change the topic. He just was not having it. And I'm like, wow. I'm like, he's autistic, but does that make him a dick?
Right. Right.
Because if I did that on a date,
Oh, it's over.
she's like, oh, I love going to the movies. I love to see the Disney movies. And I'm just like, topic switch.
Next.
Next.
Yeah. So
I think this date is over.
we love the show. We're autistic. We
Yeah.
found out we were diagnosed with autism last night. So
And nothing's more important than a self-diagnosis.
no, I think the best thing that's going to come from this is the great parking. So aside from that, we do have a topic for tonight.
So the 90s.
Before autism.
I've got nothing. Yeah, before that was a thing that you could make money off of on
Yeah.
Netflix.
Exactly.
I posed this one to you because you said a few nights ago, we need another list show.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
And it has been a minute. And I was like, a real quick and easy one. Our favorite movies of the 90s. Or not movies, horror films. Because what most horror fans know this for the most part, but a casual film goer might not know that after the 80s and like throw everything at the wall and see what sticks. It was just like a renaissance of horror. The 90s was like not having it. There were plenty of horror movies out there, but it was just the excitement to do them or to watch them. They weren't box office draws anymore. The 90s was killing off all the icons. They were like, we're done with Freddy. We're done with Jason. Pinhead's in fucking space. And we were kind of moving into this weird area of like, like elfin horror with stuff like Puppet Master and Leprechaun and Rumpelstiltskin, and horror just got kind of stupid.
He just had my whole list, so cool.
Yeah. So I was like, it sounds easy to just say, let's do our favorite 90s horror movies, but it's kind of a thinker.
It is.
I think.
It is. It did take me a minute to assemble the list.
Same.
Because, the one thing I did realize while researching to do this, the 90s also spawned a lot of sequels to franchises. And
Yeah.
a lot of 3s and a lot of 4s, of these. I mean, everything from the 80s was getting sequelized in the 90s.
Yes.
There was tons of them. And yes, there are a bunch on my list.
Sequels?
Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah.
And these are ones you genuinely like.
I genuinely do like these. Yeah. And I know I'm going to probably get some shit for a couple of these for sure.
Well, after we pretty much admitted to laughing at an autism show,
Yeah.
none of it matters.
That's true. That's why I started with that.
to cushion the blow.
It was actually to deflect from my shitty list.
Nothing we can say from here on out will be as offensive. That's what we admitted to.
Exactly.
Oh, we're gonna lose so many fans. Okay.
Yeah.
Why don't you tip this one off?
I'm going to tip it off. I hope you're ready for this.
And
okay.
mind you, I've
Yeah.
got 5 and a honorable mention.
Okay.
But these are not in order of quality for me.
Yeah.
I'm not doing like least best
Yeah.
to my best.
Yeah.
I'm just going in order of release because I think they're all 5-star movies.
Okay. I am actually doing worst to best.
You're ramping.
That's what I'm doing.
Got it.
And again, worse is not, because I did like this movie and I felt like, even though this coming at the end of the 90s, it did change horror, in my opinion, a bit. And that was the Blair Witch Project in 99.
For sure.
I definitely think it changed horror. I went to the theater to see it, not knowing anything about it.
You didn't know anything?
I didn't want to know anything.
Okay. I couldn't avoid it, it felt like.
Well, when I read the synopsis, I was like, okay, I want to go see this movie. Mm-hmm. And basically it wasn't even really the synopsis. It was like on the poster, You know, it says in October of 1994, 3 student filmmakers disappeared in the woods near Burkittsville, Maryland, while shooting a documentary. A year later, their footage was found.
Yeah.
Reading that, I was like, okay, real or not, I'm hooked. Fucking cool.
Well, if
Because I'd never heard the words found footage.
yeah, and it wasn't new.
No.
Found footage was not a new thing,
Exactly.
but it definitely it pushed it into the mainstream
Yeah. Oh, that's 100% what
because
this one did.
we've had a litany of them since.
Mhm.
A litany.
Yeah.
I personally, I learned about it because this was like burgeoning internet at the time. And I was seeing the missing websites.
The posters and all that
And
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I legitimately thought, oh, this is a movie that was being made and something fucking happened.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I bought it. Hook, line, and sinker. I bought it and was just like, holy shit. I'm like, well, and I remember kind of having a conflicting attitude about it. Like, what are the legalities of showing this footage?
Uh-huh.
Because I'm like, isn't this evidence? How are we making a theatrical movie out of it? You know what I mean? And I was just kind of like, I got to go see this to see what the fuck is going on.
Yeah.
And I learned maybe within a day or two of going
Okay.
that it was just genius marketing.
Yeah.
And these guys, they were out there.
Oh.
They were on the junket. And,
Yeah.
You know. But no, I loved it.
I did too.
I think it's fan fucking.
I actually first became aware of it one time in Hollywood. There was a really famous store that we used to go to on Hollywood Boulevard called the Hollywood Book and Poster Company.
Mm-hmm.
And it was owned by this guy, Eric Hayden.
Mm-hmm.
Eric Hayden was like a staple in the horror community,
Yeah.
just as much as Dell.
Yes.
Like this guy was massive. And he had the posters hanging up. The Missing.
Oh yeah.
And, you know, I was like, what's this? And like whoever, it wasn't Eric, but there was someone in there. It was just like, they kind of played into it. And I don't know if it was like the studio told them to or whatever, but they were just like, it's some documentary coming out about these kids that were trying to find this witch and they disappeared and they discovered the footage and
Yeah.
it's going to be hitting theaters.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy fuck.
Wasn't this like right on the heels of like Paradise Lost?
Yes, absolutely.
And it very similar in theme
Mm-hmm.
because it was like occult stuff and you know, we're in the woods and
Yeah.
it was just I think it was, man, you talk about striking while the iron is hot. What a perfect time. What a perfect ad campaign. There's no wonder at all why it was such a fucking dominant box office hit.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a fun movie. I remember people in the theater kind of being annoyed when they found out that it was a movie.
I had a buddy I worked with. I forget his name, but it was when I was at Sam's Club shucking carts from the parking lot.
Yeah.
You know, and we were talking about it and about how scary it was. And he goes, man, this movie fucking scared the shit out of me. And he said something along the lines of, man, yeah, I wonder how their families feel about this. And I went, oh, well, it's fake. I said, it's a found footage. Well, obviously that wasn't really in the
Term,
zeitgeist.
yeah.
But I was like, no. It's ad-libbed, but it's scripted. They're out there. They were actors. And he went, are you serious? And I was like, yeah.
Wow.
And he literally went, oh man, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. And I remember thinking, but it fooled you.
Yeah, it totally got you.
It clearly fooled you because until this moment, it was the scariest thing you'd ever seen.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why isn't it scary now that the rug's been pulled out from under you?
If anything, you got to tip your hat to him.
That's how I was. I'm like, dude, this is because like I said, even going in knowing now that this was a media blitz, this was fake, my hair stood on end. I was like, this is creepy as fuck. You know, and I had to commend him for such a lo-fi
Right.
genius idea.
Yeah.
And it was performed brilliantly. The scares are wonderful.
I think the scares are really good, especially with them being so just audio,
Yeah.
you know?
At the end of a decade where stuff, especially movies that involve CGI,
Yeah.
the effects world was going through a really bad transition.
It really was.
Because we were going from practical shit in the 80s that looked fucking amazing to stuff that nowadays we call PS1,
Yes.
PlayStation 1 effects. You know, it's like, effects just they weren't great.
Mm-hmm.
I look at stuff like American Werewolf in Paris,
Ooh, yeah.
where there's scenes where the werewolf doesn't even have a fucking shadow while it's walking.
Mm-hmm.
It's stuff like that where it's like,
Yeah.
So yeah, to just go back to like The Haunting in the 60s and be like, this is going to be an audio fright,
Yeah.
and
I mean, because think about it, like putting yourself in that situation of being in the middle of the woods in a tent and hearing babies crying around you,
Yep.
and just like the weeds and the rocks, like just shuffling and
yep.
Coming out to these formations, being hung from the tree and rocks stacked up, knowing that something is out there with you, but you don't know what it is.
And you can't get out.
Yeah.
You
and
can't find your way.
And that's the other thing is like walking and walking and walking and seeing the same thing,
Yeah.
going in a giant circle, going a completely different direction, but still ending up in the same spot. That's that mental shit, that you're losing your mind.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden you stumble upon a house,
I know. Yeah.
and I knew as soon as I saw that house, this is going to be bad.
This is bad. Yeah. It's not good that they found this house.
Yeah.
And then you get deeper in and there's little children's handprints everywhere. And it was just the setup with interviewing people in the town.
Insane. I thought it was real. That's where I thought it was real.
Yes, because all the foreshadowing, like if you hadn't had that one chick who I believe made up the story about staring at the wall while they killed someone else and all this, the final shot of the movie wouldn't be as chilling as it is.
No, it wouldn't.
So the first half hour does a great job of building up all the scares that come.
Yeah.
And no, that's a wonderful choice on your part. It's not on my list,
Okay.
but it crossed my mind.
Did it? Yeah.
Oh, 100%, because I absolutely love it.
I do too.
My first one is Tremors.
Nice.
It's not the kind of movie you expect, especially in the 90s. It's not the cast you would expect for the type of movie it is. You don't pull Kevin Bacon from like John Hughes land,
Yeah.
who's like, soaring. What was it? Same year was like Flatliners, stuff like that. He was doing big, important movies, if not classic comedies at the time that had yet to be huge.
Right.
And then you got Fred Ward, you got Michael Gross, who had just come off of Family Ties. I think Family Ties was just ending, maybe. And big fucking worms. And the idea was this was Jaws in the desert, which is, I'm in.
And they nailed it.
They nailed it. And I think what most people didn't expect was how fucking funny it is, because the movie's poking fun at itself from the get.
Oh, yeah.
Every character is wonderfully written. There's no one-dimensional characters. Like even the little girl from Jurassic Park on her little pogo stick, these are characters. They're well established, super funny. Everyone's a smartass. Everyone's also kind of a genius. And, the scares come literally, I can't say out of nowhere because they come from under the ground, but there are moments that you go, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'll never forget my dad renting that one night because I didn't see it in theaters. And I'm not even sure if it was a big hit at first.
It wasn't. I don't think it was.
Well, the sad thing is it was put out during the dump months of like January, February, because even the studio was like, we don't know what to do with this.
I didn't see it till VHS.
Same. So we rented it, and I remember the entire family just uproariously laughing at certain parts and being like, holy shit. And it was just, what a fucking roller coaster Tremors is. And it's such a tip of the hat to be movies like Them, or It Came From Beneath the Sea, or Tarantula, all these atomic age type movies without playing down to it.
Yeah.
It's not making fun of it. It's not self-aware like Scream or anything like that. It's very much these are the breaks. This is the world we're inhabiting. Now see how this colorful group of people are going to survive if they do. Doesn't matter how many times I've seen it, dozens. That first movie captivates me and keeps me watching clear to the end every time. I laugh at all the same jokes because they still fucking work, and the practical effects in it are amazing. So that's my first one.
Hell yeah.
I absolutely love Tremors.
Yeah, that's cool. No, it's not on my list, but I totally agree. It's a really fun 90s movie.
Yes.
That you can tell is a 90s movie.
You could tell it's a 90s
It's not trying to
movie.
be an 80s movie.
Not at all, but what's funny is it kind of has the spirit of the 80s.
It really does. And even like the sci-fi shit.
Yes.
Like the giant insect bug kind of a
Right.
thing, which
Exactly.
I respected that. And it was a little edgier. I like that one.
Mm-hmm.
This is where it goes south for me.
Okay.
Sorry. I'm just going to put it out there.
I'm going to laugh if I agree with it.
Pumpkinhead 2.
I don't agree with it.
I didn't think you would. And a lot of people don't.
Here's what's funny. I don't remember liking it.
Okay.
I've only seen it once.
Okay.
So
And was that upon release?
No.
In that area, though?
Ish. I mean, I did watch it on VHS.
Because that was 93.
Yeah.
So you have never seen it pretty much since? DVD, nothing like that, obviously.
I wouldn't say that. I think it was, it's probably been a good 20 years.
I would say watch it again then.
Yeah. No, I want to.
Yeah.
I don't remember liking it as much.
Okay.
I do remember it being far more violent.
Mm-hmm.
I do remember the incident in question that caused him to be conjured.
Mm-hmm.
I do remember his design being only slightly augmented and him still looking fucking rad.
Yeah.
But I want to say my love for the original is so strong
Yeah.
that it didn't live up to it. Like, because how could it? You know what I mean?
Right.
So I can't really argue with you about it because I could watch it tomorrow and do a complete 180. I have no idea.
Yeah, I see that. I really do.
Love the VHS art.
Yeah. Oh, no.
Him coming out of the floor
Yeah.
or whatever.
No, it's great.
But yeah, I don't remember liking it.
Yeah. I met the director.
Was this
Jeff Burr?
Burr? Okay.
Yeah. A buddy of mine was doing something on this movie he directed with, oh man, I feel bad because I don't remember the guy's name, but he's the one that, Dwayne Whitaker? He played.
Pulp Fiction?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
So I was actually friendly with Dwayne for a little bit.
No shit.
Just a quick fucking brief moment in history.
Sure.
But he had done a movie called Eddie Presley,
Okay.
and Jeff directed it.
Okay.
And I remember hanging out and Dwayne saying, hey, because he knew I was writing for a website, hey, watch my movie and give me a review. If you're calling for sure. I watched it and I was like, I'm not going to give you a review because you won't like me when it's over.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I think that might have been the end of but Jeff was like a really fucking cool guy. I feel like Jeff never really got a chance to like really show his directing skills.
I don't think so either. I think he got a bad rap.
He did.
He kept getting handed sequels.
He did.
To big IPs.
Big IPs. And it almost wasn't fair because he had skill.
He did.
Yeah.
I'm one of the few that I stand by Stepfather 2.
Absolutely. So do I.
I stand by Texas Chainsaw 3.
So do I. I don't care about the Puppet Masters. Because he did 4 and 5.
Did he?
Yeah.
I don't remember much about those.
Yeah.
But every time I watched one of his movies, you could tell his heart was in the right place. And he knew what to do. But from the sounds of it, studios never let this guy spread his wings.
No, they
Clear
didn't.
to the end.
No, they didn't.
So what is it about Pumpkinhead 2?
Obviously, I like the cast.
Mm-hmm.
I do. I do like the cast. What's her name?
From Witchboard 2, right?
Yeah, Amy Dolenz.
Amy Dolenz.
Yeah, she was rad. And then also like Soleil
I
Moonfry.
was going to say Punky Brewster's.
Yeah, and I like Andrew Robinson.
Me too.
A
And
lot.
He's actually a good guy in this.
Yes,
if I
he is a
remember
good
right.
guy in this one.
Yeah.
Yeah. The story's silly, but I did like it. Because it was different. Because it was a younger cast. That
Yeah.
was battling him this time versus the father daughter in the first one. The father in the first one.
Yeah.
I think I resonated more with the kids
Probably.
fighting him. Especially in '93 when this
Sure.
came out.
Sure.
Yeah, I don't know. It just seemed that it was moving. Like it was already like a vehicle in motion for me because I'd seen Pumpkinhead. I was like, yeah, it's cool. I like it. It was fun. It was very serious.
Very. It's
it's
a somber movie.
Yeah, and this one had more kind of tongue in cheek,
Did it?
humor because they were kids. So they were, it was. I like the effects too. And I did like the design of the Pumpkinhead in this one.
Yeah, he's those first two movies. He's a marvel of effects.
Yeah.
I love the way he looks in those movies.
Yeah, I do too. I absolutely do. It's a very scary figure.
Yes.
And
a very cool practical effects.
Absolutely.
Because if I'm not mistaken, 3 and 4 they go full bore in the CGI and it
Yeah.
just looks fucking terrible.
You know what? I could never watch them because of that.
I did, and whatever my feelings are about Blood Wings, it was better than those.
Yeah.
But again, one and done, long time ago. The only Pumpkinhead I ever revisit is the first one, usually.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I will too. And honestly, I will double feature them.
Yeah, and I have all four. I do have them all. But I just, the first one's the only one that I'm like, I'm in a Pumpkinhead mood.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm curious to see, like, maybe you get back home, give it a watch, and then maybe you come back out, we'll do a...
Well, you know what I want to do one day, and I'm putting this out into the universe now.
Okay.
I want us to do a 180 episode.
Okay.
Pick the 5 movies that we were like, I hated it.
Oh, wow.
Now I like it. Or I used to like it. It does not hold up.
Okay.
We could do could do a double.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's good.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, that'd be really fun.
But yeah, I'm curious to see how Pumpkinhead 2 holds up after 20-something years.
Yeah.
Because it's been a long time. And when Scream Factory released it, of course I bought it. You know, I was like, yeah.
Hell yeah.
But I do want to rewatch that one.
Yeah, I think you should. So, yep. That's my number 4.
My number 4 is Candyman. Is it on your list?
No.
No?
No. You know what? I
thought we'd overlap on that.
Here's the thing. I'm going to be honest with you. The movie's terrible. I'm just kidding. No.
I'm like, did I say Candyman 3?
No. I'm totally honest. I knew it was going to be on your list.
Well, yeah.
I absolutely did. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to put something on my list that is fun for me.
Sure.
You know, and it kind of kicks off my last 3, and you'll see the connection.
Okay.
But it was this one or Candyman, and I was like, I fucking feel like he's gonna put Candyman.
Well, it gives us a chance to talk about it anyway.
Exactly.
I revisited Candyman maybe a week or 2 ago.
Okay.
Because my kid wanted to watch it, and I was like, let me rewatch it because I know a couple of things. There's a couple of moments in there.
Yeah.
But Candyman has never not given me the creeps. It is not a fun movie, I don't think. I think it's got a lot to say about gentrification. I think it has a lot to say about ghetto and racism. It's just, it's one of those movies where the violence in it is so aggressive that it leaves a bad taste in your mouth.
Yeah.
There's a corpse in the movie so drained of blood that she looks green. It's disgusting. There's a scene, it's a brief flash of a scene of a little kid with his genitals cut off, screaming in a bathroom. That is a hard part to shake off. But there's also something about it that's very oppressively disturbing. And I remember introducing it to my brother and his friends probably about 15 years or so ago, and just like the part where she's interviewing the cleaning ladies at her college, and their delivery of some of the horrible shit that was done in the so-called name of Candyman, it doesn't even feel scripted. This sounds like eyewitness reports of brutal manslaughter.
Yeah.
And there's just so many scenes in Candyman that get my hair standing up, and it's wonderfully directed, wonderfully performed by the late Tony Todd and Virginia Madsen, who went under hypnosis under many scenes. I don't know if you knew that.
I did not know that.
Director Bernard Rose, he had the ability to hypnotize. He knew hypnotism. And he said there were certain scenes in the movie, and it's typically the moments where you see that ray of light over Virginia's eyes, especially the moments where she's tearing up and she looks kind of lost. And it's when Tony's got her in his grasp. She's hypnotized. She is under hypnosis and does not recall shooting those scenes.
Wow.
Yeah. And you could see it in her face, like her eyes, there's a deadness to them. And it works because it looks unnatural. You know what I mean? There's everything from the mural of his face screaming with the hole in the wall. And there's just so many instances in that movie that stick with you because they're so disturbing. None of the sequels could ever live up.
Yeah.
Even though I do like Farewell to the Flesh.
That's the only one I would like.
And I do like the Jordan Peele produced one. I expected not to.
Yeah.
And it did. I gave it more grace when I found out that it's a direct sequel too, because I was like, don't fucking remake it. Don't fucking remake it.
Right.
And when I found out it wasn't a remake and that they actually spread the lineage across centuries where Candyman isn't Tony Todd or Daniel Robitaille, he's every black person who was wrongfully killed due to racism. And the little paper pup marionettes representing like all these historical figures was a great way to kind of infuse Candyman into our culture as it could be anybody.
Right.
And I really loved that about the requel, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
But no, Candyman, I think, is one of those that still has a staying power.
Oh, absolutely. It's so atmospheric.
Extremely. And the music, oh my God, the music by Philip Glass is eerie and unnatural and nightmare-like. And that's a movie that fires on every cylinder for me.
I agree. Hell yeah. Good pull. I like that. And so my number 3 is Candyman.
Yeah.
I
think it
didn't
has
like
a staying power.
I hated it. No, it was Dead Alive.
Peter Jackson?
Yeah, 92.
Fuck. Yes.
Yeah.
Another one. I absolutely love everything about it.
Yeah, me too.
Everything about
it. I mean, it's great. I love the fast-paced quirkiness of it. You know, I love the over-the-top fucking gore.
Yes.
You know, some of the grossest shit is when they're having dinner and then
Oh God.
yeah, I know.
The custard.
Yes, yeah. It's fucking vile. It's like classic Peter Jackson.
It is.
You know, I loved every fucking bit of it. I mean, like the lawnmower.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just like, Jesus Christ, this is fucking perfect.
It's Evil Dead on steroids.
It is. And someone, I don't know who, maybe they've already done it or it's coming out, but someone is doing a Sumatran rat monkey prop.
No way.
Yes. I saw that
way.
recently. So I don't know if it's Trick or Treat. I saw it somewhere though. And I'm like, I will definitely own that.
For fucking sure.
Because it is a very fucking fun movie. And
It is.
No one's ever seen it. You definitely need to change that.
I'm going to say something. It's going to be like I threw a bomb in the middle of the room. It, to me, is the most original zombie movie ever made.
Absolutely.
I mean, and you know how much we love George.
Yeah.
We know that the Night, Day, and Dawn trilogy is the foundation for these things.
Yeah.
But there is nothing more batshit crazy in the zombie genre or more batshit gory than Dead Alive, aka Brain Dead, depending on your residency. But no, that's a movie that's just a complete fucking ass bonkers.
Oh, it is.
Thing. And it's his last really truly splatter Peter Jackson movie.
Yeah.
Before he took off into like mainstream.
Which, hey, good for him too on that.
Of course, cool. Because the right people noticed.
And what I like about it too is that he doesn't shun these or like, oh no, I didn't do those. I don't. No. He's
proud. He's proud
very
of his
proud,
work.
and he fucking should be.
Absolutely.
Because Dead Alive is phenomenal.
It's the same with Bad Taste. It's one of those where you watch it and go, he only had a few bucks. And boy, look what he did.
Look what he did. Yeah.
Fucking, that's just creativity at work.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Great pull.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I definitely, and that's what's funny. Part of what this episode is to prove that the 90s didn't have much, and yet they had some fucking gems.
They did. They really did. And it's funny because creature of habit, just like I am with the 90s, I watch the same shit.
Yeah.
And it's like, I go back and it's like, yeah, you can look at the 90s horror and it's like, man, there's a lot to pull from. There's Tales from the Dark Side. I love Tales from the Hood.
Tales from the Hood is wonderful.
It's fantastic. It's great. And it's like, so it's easy. You know what? Oh, I can do a 10 title list. I can do.
We could,
but it's like, no. I really wanted to pull films that I still watch to this day.
Yeah.
That are important to me.
Same.
And because I still feel like these movies have a very close tie to the 80s. It's like
For sure.
they were carrying that torch into the 90s, and it was like, hey, you guys should have learned.
And that's the thing. It's not so much, I don't like looking at it like we're just picking movies that we liked from the 90s to prove that there were good ones. These are movies that we fucking love.
Yes, love.
From the 90s.
Absolutely.
So I mean, proving that they go beyond just, yeah, that was pretty good.
Yeah.
Candyman Farewell to the Flesh. That's pretty good.
It is.
You know what I mean?
It is, yes.
Dr. Giggles. That's pretty good.
Agreed.
But it's like, these are movies that I'm like, these are defining moments. That proved horror wasn't dead.
Exactly.
My next one is Tales from the Crypt's Demon Knight, which to me was probably the biggest surprise of the 90s. And I say that because as we talked about with, was it Kruger? Where we talked about the last season of Tales being shot in Britain.
Yes, it was.
Okay.
It was on our made-for-TV show.
Yeah. Tales was waning, the HBO series. It was
Yeah,
kind
because I had no idea that shit.
yeah, we knew it was coming to an end. And for some weird reason, they pivoted to the UK for the final season. UK cast, UK crew. You know, it was just all of a sudden a very British show when it was 6 years of good old-fashioned American horror.
Yeah.
You know, and season 7's pretty weak because of it.
Right.
So that in mind, here comes Tales from the Crypt's Demon Knight. It's released in January of 95. So it's a dump month, which is, it's not a good sign.
No.
Especially when you have caliber behind it like Ernest Dickerson, who directed. It's produced by Bob Zemeckis, Joel Silver, Richard Donner. It's got all the usual suspects from the show who are not slouches.
Right. Yeah, that's for sure.
And this movie got dumped like it was, you know, January, February, again, is the months where the studios put out the things that they know aren't going to make a big splash. So I'm bearing that in mind, and I go see this movie thinking, okay, I was going to do it just to support Tales, but I was like, what's this 90-minute episode going to be like? You know, and what I got was a genuinely scary, incredibly well shot movie. I think the movie's beautiful. I think his name is Rick Bota. He's the cinematographer on it, and he would go on to direct. But the movie has the same icy blue tone that like Cameron's Terminator 2 does. It looks oppressively dark. Amazing performances by Bill Sadler, Billy Zane, Dick Miller, she who shall not be named for fear of slapping her name out of my mouth. You know, it's just a great cast and big scares. There's at least 2 solid jumps that get me. The first time I saw it anyway. A hilarious cameo by John fucking Larroquette, of all people. By the end of that movie, I was kind of shook.
Yeah.
Because I didn't go there expecting a roller coaster. I didn't go there expecting to jump or to see makeup that was like, holy shit, you know, because there's a character that gets possessed, a little kid. And you remember what he looks like. His mouth elongates, you know, his head turns into this grotesque maw. He looks like something out of The Thing.
Yeah.
And I just remember being at the theater going, Jesus Christ. Like, what the fuck is that? Just great effects work, great sense of humor. It was everything that Tales from the Crypt was, but just dialed in a little more serious.
Yeah.
A little more, it's less tongue in cheek, even though it is funny,
Right.
darkly funny. The only real is the bookends with the Crypt Keeper,
Right.
of course, you know. But that was one that just surprised the shit out of me. Fucking love Demon Knight.
Yeah. And the holdup is phenomenal.
It is. It holds up great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good pull. This is another one. This is another zombie movie.
Okay.
And I feel, even though it's a part of a trilogy, it is original. And that's Return of the Living Dead 3.
Beautiful. Love it. Romeo and Juliet with zombies.
Yeah.
And sexy. The movie's hot.
Yeah.
The chick from the cover, she is like every goth fantasy.
Melinda Clark.
Yeah. Beautiful woman.
Such a cool premise.
It is.
You know.
It's Return of the Living Dead is such a badly maintained franchise.
Yeah, it is. Sad. Oh, God, that's so tragic.
It is, because what a great start. And by the time you get to 3, you're kind of like, well, you know, you could tell it has thin ties to the first one. I believe trioxin might be mentioned at one point. Maybe. But it does feel like its own standalone thing. That said, the gore in it is amazing. She is iconic. I mean, just the way she looked with all the hooks and nails and glass and everything.
Yeah.
All to suppress this hunger that's
Yeah.
driving her. She's on shirts and posters and everything. She became iconic.
She did.
And this was
Why
a movie,
there's no toy, I don't understand.
Oh my God, me neither. That NECA should have had.
Trick or treat?
They should be.
Now's your
trick or-
chance.
Yeah,
Now's your chance.
I'm telling you, this is it's amazing, and I'm surprised. You know what? I'll go a step further. I'm surprised we don't see as much cosplay.
You know what? You're right.
I never see. You know, it's,
You know what? Next creep eye.
I'll do it.
All right, fuck it.
I'll hook the nipples.
All right, that's cool. I'll be the kid.
Yeah.
I'll get the bike. We'll ride around the con floor. We'll get banned, and we'll never be able to allow it back in there.
You know, some tore up fishnets and, you know. But I'm surprised. I mean, for every...
No, you're right. You're absolutely right.
For every Elvira
Yeah.
or female sex change...
Especially in the horror community. She's extremely iconic.
She is. And, you know, there's enough girls out there who know they have rockin' bods who are like, they show a lot. They do show a lot at these things. I'm sitting here like, you don't have to go full bore like she did.
Right.
But you could put together...
You know what? If our producer wasn't such a prude, she should do it.
She'd make it work.
Yeah.
But it's a fucking rad.
It is. It really is.
It really is.
Yeah.
It's very heavy metal. Very goth.
Yeah.
And she's just... Melinda Clark nailed it. And I don't think she gets the credit she deserves for that movie.
No, it's a fun movie. I haven't watched it in a while, but the last time I did watch it, I was like, yeah, I still like it. It's still fucking cool. It's a good one.
It is. And the effects work, I think Screaming Mad George was part of that one.
Yeah.
I think so.
I know Christopher Nelson was too.
He was, and it was by Brian Usna, who did
Yes.
The Bride of Reanimator and Society.
Yeah.
So yeah, a lot of the same crew came back for this, and it shows.
Yeah.
Like the effects are great. Beautiful poster too.
Oh yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
My next to last is The Frighteners. To no one's surprise, of course. But you did mention Peter Jackson earlier.
Yeah.
And what was funny to me about The Frighteners, other than it's probably one of the most original stories ever.
Sure.
You know, you've got a con man psychic played by what would appear to be a miscast Michael J. Fox, who fucking owns it. He's conning people into thinking their houses are haunted because the ghosts that he can see and communicate with, he sends into their home to haunt it. And then one day he starts noticing a number appearing on people's foreheads and becomes embroiled in this weird murder plot from beyond the grave from the Grim Reaper, who is taking people out in this small coastal town. He's able to do something about it, but everyone in town knows him as a charlatan. Everyone knows that he's full of shit. And worse yet, there's an FBI agent played by Jeffrey Combs who's been keeping tabs on him for years and wants to bring him down. So now he has to stop the Grim Reaper by any means necessary, which includes fighting him on a different plane of existence. I mean, it's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy, crazy, crazy plot. And it's just Peter Jackson's fucking creativity at work again, man.
Absolutely.
Beautiful cinematography.
Yeah.
He really knows how to make New Zealand just look fucking amazing. Because the movie does not look like anything in America.
No, not at all.
Even though I think it's supposed to be like California. Or, I don't know. It's very misleading because it starts very funny.
Yeah.
And kind of maybe a little too goofy. And then eventually turns into a inkwell dark chase through.
And I think that was on purpose.
I think so too. I think he wanted to lull you into a weird sense of security.
Because it is very slapsticky. Then it's like there's a bit of that noir, kind of like a 40s feel to it, and then all of a sudden it's just like,
because
what are we doing now?
Yeah, because the
third act is
genius.
Wow.
And I was on the edge of my seat. I really was.
Yeah.
You got a really hell of a good performance by Dee Wallace as a fucking psycho. Jake Busey doing what Buseys do best and just being fucking creepy.
Yeah.
And then, Jeffrey Combs, and probably in my opinion, his most iconic role since Reanimator. He's fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
Our favorite guy, Troy Evans, as the town sheriff.
Yep.
Trini Alvarado as the widow of one of the Grim Reaper's friends. That's where the 40s thing comes in, where it feels... I don't want to call it Scooby-Doo, but that's where there's some sleuthing is happening.
Yeah.
And it's it's almost 2 hours long, I think. And for its duration, there's never a dull moment. There isn't a moment in that movie that's not at least funny, impressive, scary, suspenseful, engrossing. It's perfect.
Yeah.
But what I love the most about it is it came out after Heavenly Creatures, where critics were like, oh, this is that splatter guy. He's finally grown up and he's made something serious and heartfelt. And Frighteners was him going, Nuh-uh.
Yep.
No, I still love horror, and I'm still going to do batshit crazy shit like this.
Yeah.
And it was fucking wonderful. And it was so fucking good.
Yeah.
And I have the highest respect for The Frighteners. I think it's one of the most slept on movies
Agreed.
ever in the 90s.
Yeah, it is. It's fantastic. It's
Yeah.
fun. It's absolutely fun. Well, I'm down to my last one.
Yes, sir. Do you have a runner up or
I don't.
no honorable mention?
I don't. There was a couple that I was like mulling around, but I was like, no, because they're going to be on his list. So
Okay.
and they were. So
Hey, there you go.
yeah. So I was
At
like,
least it shows we agreed.
no, it did. Yeah, it did. So my last one is
Howling New Moon Rising by Clive Turner.
that is not fucking fair. Did you look at my
Shut up.
Night of the Living Dead?
Yes. The 1990 on the nose.
Tom Savini. Yeah.
Tom Savini.
The quintessential 90s horror movie.
It really is.
That still had a taste of the 80s, but it was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Effects can be fucking terrifying
Well,
and extremely graphic.
I personally, more so than any of Romero's, think that this influenced The Walking Dead
For sure. Absolutely.
more than George's movie.
Absolutely.
Because this was, I don't think zombies have ever looked more.
Oh, they were visceral.
Yes.
It was vile. It was like, you could almost smell them through the screen.
Yes. And Savini righted a lot of wrongs in the original.
For sure.
Granted, I look at the original as a near flawless movie.
Mm-hmm.
And as much as I love Judith O'Dea, her character is a wet rag
100%.
for the whole movie. You bring in Patricia Tallman, and now she's Ripley.
Yeah. Yep.
She's a fucking badass.
Yes.
Yeah, the movie, it moves. It moves fast, hits all the right beats.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's one of the few remakes that I think fits right in
It does.
with Romero's. Unapologetically.
Yeah.
It's not stepping on toes. It doesn't feel like, oh, I could do this better than George. This was an in the family movie.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it pays enormous respect to George's film,
Yeah.
especially when held up to the litany of Night of the Living Dead movies that have come since, because it's public domain.
Mm-hmm.
Almost everybody sinks their teeth into it and does like a cheaper and cheaper and cheaper version.
Yeah. Hey, I wrote one.
Did you?
I did.
That's out there or no?
It's not out there, but I wrote one. I have a Night of the Living Dead script.
Yeah.
I do.
Does it take place in the universe or were you remaking it?
It takes, well, that's kind of hard to say. Well,
Actually, I should have asked, can you say anything about it? Because if you don't want to, shut the fuck up.
no, it's not that. It's like, it's clearly George's world,
Okay.
but it's with my style.
Sure.
So let's just say this. Vinyl Redemption meets Night of the Living Dead.
Okay. I'd be interested in checking that.
Yeah, I'll dig it out because it's a hard copy.
Yeah?
Yeah. Because this is what's crazy. Thank God I have this hard copy because the hard drive that it was on fried.
No.
And I lost like 12 scripts. 12. Yeah. It'll easily 12 scripts.
Fuck, that's terrible.
Yeah. Like it. Yeah. Anyways.
Well, one day if you decide to scan it or retype
Well, that's
it.
what I was saying. I was actually thinking about just reading it and then just kind of polishing it because it was only like a second or maybe I think like a second draft.
Okay.
But yeah, it was really fun.
Well, that's the thing. Knowing your respect for George, I can't imagine it being anything but respectful and awesome. And
Here's the thing.
you were in a bad mood.
No, I was really excited about trying to put it out there because I was doing a lot of set work
Sure.
and meeting a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
And I was really excited about trying to get this made.
Mm-hmm.
And then like Shaun of the Dead came out.
Mm.
And I was kind of like, I don't think I can do this anymore because there's so much Romero verse.
Yeah.
And there's also so much dick and fart because of my sense of humor
Sure.
that I was like, well, good for you guys.
This sense of humor is not going to sidle up to that sense of humor.
I just felt like it was going to be like, oh, I see what you're doing. You're doing what they did.
Yeah. Okay.
So I kind of was just like, well, right, whatever.
I gotcha.
You know? But I think maybe now there's so much time passed.
Oh, for sure.
I think maybe if I was to give it a rewrite and put it out there, I'd kind of be proud enough to maybe just, let people read it.
Sure.
Because it is fun. It is the farmhouse shit.
Yeah.
You know, it's like it can't not be.
Oh, of course.
You know, so yeah. But anyways, you know,
Very cool.
those are my 5. I don't have an honorable mention. My honorable mention was me feeling sorry for myself for writing a script and, you know, losing it.
It's the Night of the Living Dead that could have been.
Yeah. My whole life.
My final one is Tim Burton's Sleepy Hollow.
Oh, wow. I did not expect that.
Yeah, 1999, same year as Blair Witch.
Yeah.
And what a beautiful movie. Beautiful
Yeah.
movie. It's so gothic. It's so old-fashioned. It's Tim Burton's Hammer film,
Absolutely.
right down to having Christopher Lee in it
Yeah.
as a judge.
Yeah.
But I think it's one of the best collabs between Burton and Johnny Depp.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's one of Depp's best performances. He actually takes a character that's kind of milquetoast and makes him three-dimensional.
Mm-hmm.
The special effects are amazing. The scenery is amazing. You're literally, and I mean, people now who like Robert Eggers and The Witch and stuff like that. I'm
Yeah.
like, it was here first.
For sure.
Like, this is a movie where I say you could smell the dead leaves. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, this is amazing. And there's action in it. There's some pretty top-notch gore. There's a couple decapitations that were like, holy shit. They found a way to wrap lore and dark magic and occultism into a story that was pretty small and pretty basic.
Yeah.
You know, as much as I love The Legend of Sleepy Hollow as a book, or even the Disney cartoon, which is fantastic.
For sure.
I don't think anyone's ever seen a Sleepy Hollow story told quite like this, with this robust sense of gothism to it. I think it's Tim Burton's masterpiece. I think it's absolutely amazing. And I think it's the perfect like Halloween movie.
Yeah.
You know, you put that one on and light a jack-o'-lantern or two in your living room and just enjoy. I think it's a gothic masterpiece. I think it's wonderful. And it ushered us out of the 90s because it was like, I think it was released like around Thanksgiving of 99.
Wow.
So to me, it's like the
That
last.
was it.
Yeah, I feel like if we were going to close the book on the 90s in horror,
Wow.
what better movie? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And it's very, like we said, it's very 80s feeling
It is.
because it's not a movie that has a agenda. It's just pure popcorn fun.
Yeah.
And we didn't get a lot of popcorn fun in the 90s.
No, we didn't.
And it was, I really love it for that.
Yeah. Fuck yeah. That was fun.
Cool. Oh, my honorable mention. I feel like you'd probably agree, possibly. Addams Family Values. Fucking hilarious.
Absolutely.
As gothic as any dark movie of the 90s.
Yeah.
I mean, Addams Family, if they played it straight, it would be creepy.
It would. Yeah.
It would actually, I mean, the cast, even the first one for that matter. But for some reason, the second one with Joan Cusack and the big laughs and that one, the kids being shipped off to camp and the stupid shit that happens there. I think it's a fall down funny movie.
Yeah.
And I think as a horror comedy, it's probably the best of that decade. But I didn't think it warranted bumping one of my 5 out of place.
Yeah. No, that's for sure. I would agree with that.
Sir,
Well, I want to do another list show because I do like these.
I have fun with these.
Yeah.
Because it does give us a lot of back and forth.
And you might have inspired a list. So I'll tell you when the show's over.
Sweet.
Yeah.
I'm down with that.
Hell yeah. All right. Until next time.
See you guys.